Hello everybody, welcome back to Dominions 5. We have not recorded Dominions 5 content in a while here on the channel, but I have still been playing. I've just been really busy and wasn't really able to record the Let's Play series that I really wanted to. So it is now, today is, we're in September, I forget the exact date, mid-September 2019. And I just wanted to give you guys an update on the Dominions 5 situation and the content and the games I'm playing and what I plan to put out in terms of videos. So let me start by saying I'm currently playing 3 games. And actually, all these games are games that Lucid is also playing in, and 2 of them he's already started to upload the videos for. So the first game that I'm in, and I guess a bit of a warning, I'm going to load up the turn here, and you might see, if you look at the map, you might see sort of the game state, and this is definitely ahead of where Lucid is in his episodes. So, you know, if you don't want to have spoilers like that, just close your eyes briefly as I open up these files. I'm going to zoom in to only like a certain area so I don't kind of show too much of the whole map. So because, you know, I don't want to ruin anything. I just want to give you an idea of what state the game is in. So the first game is Bumble Rumble. This game has been going on for like not quite a year, but it's got to be almost a year. Okay, so late spring in the year 11, guys. We're on turn like 130. Okay, could we just zoom into here? So. No worries, no big worries about spoilers. Yes, it's turn 134, guys. This game is still not over. Yeah, this is a pretty epic game. So this game I'm playing as Tianchi. This is the game that Lucid is playing as Atlantis. And it's still not over. I think I still have a chance at winning this, but it's going to be very hard. So yeah, that's what's going on. So I don't want to. Well, I'm going to talk about this game, you know, a bit in some separate videos. But yeah, just so you see where we're kind of. I mean, this is like supreme late game, right? So I mean, I do have armies, but it's flames from the sky, city everywhere. You can see here we're currently fighting Vanarus. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty crazy. I mean, you see, I've got like the Blood Lords, I've got Tartarians, I've got like these super combatant guys. We've got a lot of wolves everywhere, a lot of spiders everywhere. You can see I've got some sacreds. It's a pretty epic game. So that's one of the games that we are playing in at the moment. The other game is Black Swan. This game I am playing as Marverni. This is another game that Lucid is playing in that he's just started releasing videos for. In this game, Lucid is playing as Macone. He's actually my neighbor here to the west. This is also a game that's pretty advanced. We're already on turn 89, so we're already in the late game here. And most of this game, I've been in this sort of eternal, insane war with Xibalba to the south. I'm definitely in a very strong position in this game, but there are actually many players that are quite large, and so this game still could be anyone's game to win. Yeah, both of these games actually are on a very large map. So both of these games had 20 players in them. And if we look at the thrones here, I mean, I guess there are minor spoilers here, but both of these games had 8. We needed 8 thrones to win. 16 points total. They're all level 2 thrones. That's the same thing in Bumble Rumble, where I'm playing as Tianchi. So these are really epic games. It's really, really hard to get 8 thrones on such a huge map with so many players. Yeah, I think we might have been a little ambitious when we set up these games. So that's the second game that I'm playing. And then the third game that I'm playing is another game called Atlas. This is a game that we're actually playing. So we switched now. Lucid has switched to running most of his games now on the Clockwork Hounds bot instead of Llama server, because a while back Llama server was having a lot of issues. So this one is kind of played over this server. And this is a game that we're playing on on Lucid's new map, LucidsAtlas. Okay. Now this one, I do want to show you the map. So I don't know what Lucid is going to do with this game, if he's going to release it. I haven't seen any videos. I assume he's recording it. And so I don't want to, I'm going to zoom out just because I want to show you the map, but it is going to reveal like sort of the game state at this point. So if you don't want to see that, then close your eyes, or I'll zoom out really far so maybe you can't see clearly what's going on. But this is a beautiful map. You can get it on Steam. And so in this game I'm playing as Kailasa. Lucid here is Balba. And there are others. I mean, this is a lot of the players who are in these games are sort of part of the same crew. So a lot of fun people. So we're in this game. This game actually kind of progressed really quickly. We're already on turn 58, but it kind of ran a lot faster because it was on the bot, even though we only gave ourselves, still 24 hours, per turn or whatever at the beginning. It actually kind of went by pretty fast, so it's progressed quite rapidly. So those are the 3 games that I'm currently playing in. Fortunately, I think Bumble Rumble is going to end in not too long, but I could be wrong about that. I mean, we thought that, 50 turns ago, and it's still going strong. I think in Kailasa, in the network game, the LucidsAtlas, I'm actually in a pretty good position, and I might be able to win. So that game, ironically, might end before these other 2 games, and then we just started it not too long ago. There might be a few other games coming up that haven't started yet, but I might be interested in joining. We'll have to see. I have to balance sort of. There's I don't want to get to play another huge 20-player game because the late game, I mean, they're funny. I mean, I guess if you die early it doesn't matter, but if you make it to the late game, which I certainly plan on doing, then they're really complicated games. They're really hard turns to play. Right, so that's what I'm doing now. So I've got all the turns saved, obviously. I always save all the turns for these games. For the Bumble Rumble game, which is my TNT game, I had started recording a Let's Play. And I got to turn about 20, but it's been so long since this game started. In fact, this game started so long ago that this was before the patch where they changed all the bless not all the bless values, but some of them. So actually, if we look here, if we look at the pretenders, okay, this is my pretender for that game, the Spice of Life, if I remember correctly. So you can see, oh no, this is incorrect. No, because that's EA, sorry, middle age, TNT. It's either hot pot or special sauce. Are these the same? 7 2 2 2 2 2 0 2 2 2 0 attack shock swift. No. Oh no. So, it's got to be this one. Attack minor. Anyways, I think it's hot pot. Except you see, this doesn't work because now magic weapons is 4 astral, but at the time it was only 2. And swiftness was only 2 air. Now it's 3. So you can see this is not quite, this is such an old game, right? It was still before, I forget what patch this was, but this patch happened like in the winter or something. So we've been going at it for quite a while. So I started recording a Let's Play for that series, but I never, I wasn't able to keep up. And at this point, I'm not going to go back and record 130 turns of a Let's Play, taking it turn by turn. Now, I do have all the turns saved, so I am tempted to go back and show some of the sort of major highlights, some of the major battles. But I've decided that I'm going to do something a little bit different here. So what I'd like to do for all 3 of these games and all 3 of these nations is do something like instead of like we could think of it as like an in-depth nation analysis, but it's going to be more like a game plan. So what I'm going to do is I am going to do sort of a nation breakdown, obviously for all three of these nations. But then I want to talk really more about how we're going to approach the whole game, and it's going to be specifically that game. So in these games, I know who the nations that we're fighting is going to be. Sometimes we know the map. So for example, in Bumble Rumble, which is my Tenchi game, and in Black Swan in the Marverni game, we pre-generated the maps, so we knew where the players are going to start. So that kind of affects your build. I know who my neighbors are going to be. Not so in the Kailasa game in LucidsAtlas. We did not know. We knew who the nations would be, but it was harder to predict where people were going to end up starting. And so I'm going to go through and do many episodes for each game. And the way I'd like to approach it is to start by looking at, like I said, first we're going to look at the nation. But then we're going to approach the game in terms of, we're going to look at the early game. We're going to look at how we're going to expand with the nation. We're going to look at, what are the things that can kill you in the early game? Are we vulnerable to, how are we going to beat, somebody who gets an awake pretender and rushes us? How are we going to beat, a murder bless early game rush against us, right? Then we'll talk about the mid game. How are we going to tackle magic diversity? How are we going to tackle research? How, as our nation, what are our structural weaknesses? How are we going to deal with thugs? What are going to be our research priorities? How are we going to win our first wars? Which targets we're going to try to pick, right? And then we'll talk about the late game. What are the challenges that we're going to face in the late game? And then and all of this is kind of before we even play the game, right? So you got to think about these things ahead of time, because our build for our nation, the way we build our pretender, the way we build our bless, our scales, is going to be dependent on how we think we're going to deal with these threats in the very late game. So that's how I plan to approach it. So that's going to be it for this short episode. I just wanted to, not really an episode, just an update. Just wanted to give you guys a heads up. I'm going to go ahead and start recording these sort of game plans for the three games that I mentioned, and we'll see how it turns out. So I will hopefully see you guys. Well, you'll hear from me in not too long. So I'll see you guys then. Take care.